Hello everyone, welcome to Aptera Owners Club. In this video, I wanted to talk about the possible upcoming four-wheeled, five-passenger Aptera. Now this is years away, and this video is just kind of for fun because I was looking into it. And so I found a couple of pictures of renders of possible Aptera four-wheeled cars. This is a design by Jason Hill. He runs a design studio called Design by 11. This was back in 2011. And then I think this is his website, Design by 11. This is another four-wheeled Aptera concept, the proposal for a four-door Aptera-based sedan. Now these two, since they are designed by the same designer as the current three-wheeled Aptera, the design language is very similar, and you can tell just by looking at it that it is, quote, an Aptera. And this one especially looks very similar to the current Aptera with the half windows that you can roll down. And just by looking at it, it looks like an Aptera. This evidently was these two were the Aptera concepts that the first iteration of Aptera was pursuing before they ran out of money and liquidated. And these look a lot more traditional and don't necessarily look like, quote, an Aptera by just looking at it. Especially this car looks very traditional. And I think it's interesting to look at what other very aerodynamic four-wheel drive cars look like. The EV1 actually was a very aerodynamic car, had a coefficient of drag of 0.195. Now, the current Aptera has a coefficient of drag of 0.13, which is, obviously better than this. And you can see a couple of things. They always cover the rear wheel, because you lose a lot of aerodynamics by having these wheels exposed. The front wheel is problematic to cover because, it has to turn, and it would rub against the inside. And here is the VW XL1. This was also a very efficient car. It's 0.187 coefficient of drag. Got 285 miles per gallon with a diesel engine. I think this thing sold for like $160,000. But again, you see like the half window that rolls down because it likes to curve in, and the rear wheel is completely covered. The front wheel is open. You see the door opens much like the current Aptera. And then the other car that has a very low coefficient of drag, it's kind of cool how if you're going to make a solar car, you have to make it very efficient because solar energy is not very dense. And so the Lightyear 1 has a coefficient of drag of 0.20. And you see the same design language in this too, where you have to cover the rear wheels, but the front wheels again are exposed. All right, now I wanted to kind of spend the rest of this video looking at my favorite four-wheel car for aerodynamics, and I think it just looks cool too, and that is the Ford Probe 5 concept car from 1985. So just I think it's beautiful. So you see it's very sleek. It's got no corners. It doesn't have a rear wheel side mirror. The XL1 had a camera side mirror. This one's a concept car, never went into production, so they don't need a side mirror. But I think hopefully at some point, you could get the camera port side mirror. I love the sliding door. Gives really great access. This is a mid-engine electric car, but of course, if Aptera has hub motors, you don't have to, care where you're putting the motor. It had a telescoping steering wheel. It's pretty innovative for 1985, but I just think it's a beautiful looking car. And it was at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. You see it's very low to the ground and very sleek. Again, this one has the half window that opens because the side windows slope in just to improve aerodynamics. Here's a look from the top when everything is open. This is the engine bay access by sliding the rear glass, and then both doors are open. You see it's just like a round shape. So I think this design maximizes interior space over having a design like this or like this, which definitely looks like an Aptera, but you lose a lot of interior space. And here it is again. It just looks kind of like a bubble. Now, here's the amazing thing. This car had a coefficient of drag of 0.137. So the Aptera currently is 0.13, and this one is 0.137. So almost exactly the same in a four-wheel vehicle. And I read in this website that was talking about the Ford Probe 5 that the front wheels changed. So it said that the front wheel covers moved with turning, turning of the front wheels. So see, it says the Ford 5 skirt seals, however, integrated the body's outer surface so the front wheels are turned, the membrane flexes to clear the tires. So it seemed to say that these things moved. So I'm thinking that if Aptera followed this design, which I hope it follows something like this, it's much more practical. At high speeds, the wheels don't turn very much. It's only in like low speed parking maneuvers that you really need to turn the front wheels a lot. At that point, you could have these side panels kind of move out when the wheels turn beyond a certain point, so it doesn't rub. Anyways, I thought it was just really fun to like look at this, and I just remembered this car from when I was growing up and seeing this concept car, and I just thought it looked really cool. And I was amazed to find out that the coefficient of drag of this car was basically the same as the current three-wheel Aptera. And so what do you guys think? Do you guys think they should go for a design like this, or more of a design like this or like this, which, you know, does look like an Aptera by just looking at it? It's a cool looking car, but I think the problem that we have with the current Aptera is that these flared out front wheels make the car too wide, and I think that's what's going to happen with if they go with the outrigger front wheels again. All right, well, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and thanks for watching.